Well, my best 11. I've picked it. My best Premier League 11. So we go from the keeper. Now, this was a tough choice. A lot of great Premier League goalkeepers, of course, through the years. We like the names of Courtois, the Czechs of this world, David Seamans, even the Roy Carrolls. But no, I'm going to go with none other than the man himself, Peter Schmeichel. You can't look past the great Dane, what he did for Manchester United, what he did for his country. And of course now his son's pretty much continuing a massive legacy that he had. A great goalkeeper, pulled off some amazing saves. And when you think Premier League goalkeepers, the first name that came to my head, Peter Schmeichel. He's my goalkeeper. Now into the defence. Now I've gone with the tradition at the minute in 2016. I've gone with a 3-back. So my right back is none other than Gary Neville. Gary Neville was as hard as nails, as they call him. He was absolutely incredible for United and for England. And I still feel as if it was almost criminal that we didn't win anything with that England side that we had. And obviously a few names to mention. We've got Gerrards, we've got Lampards, we've got Scholeses. And that team alone, we should have won things. So Gary Neville, for me, a class player, a little bit of grit about him, and it reminds me of myself on Sunday League. So Gary Neville is my right back. Going into centre back, this was a tough choice, but as I mentioned, I've only gone 3 backs, so I've gone with one centre back, and that one centre back is JT, the man himself from Chelsea, John Terry. A club servant to Chelsea. He's been there and done it, got the T-shirt several times with that club. So many appearances for that side. He's been a rock at the heart of the Chelsea defence for many years now, and he's had the likes of Ricardo Carvalho with him. We've had Gary Cahill currently, and many others that have come through that side. But he has stayed there, and even now he's still playing his part in a great Chelsea team at the minute. So John Terry has got to be former Premier League winner, John Terry. Into left back, this was a pretty easy choice. Do you know what? It was probably one of my easiest choices. It's the only left back that springs to mind at the minute. Of course, we've got great left backs at the minute. We've got the Luke Shaws, we've got Leighton Baines, we've got people like that. But the only left back that can be possibly go into a best Premier League 11 is Ashley Cole. What a great left back he was, and in his prime, I'd say the best left back in the world. Absolutely incredible for Arsenal, for Chelsea, for England. He was good as well, and he was one of the lads that really should have done a lot more with that England squad. But he was really good. You can't deny how great he was, and even when he went to America, he was still producing good games after good games. So Ashley Cole, definitely my left back in my 11. Now we move to midfield. Now I've gone with a sort of a 4 in midfield with an attacking midfielder. So we're going to start with David Beckham, the number 7 for United. What a winger he was. Some of his balls were absolutely delicious, and if I was a striker, I would be so happy seeing him in my side, because wherever you're going to be, that ball was going to land on your head, your chest, or down at your feet. It was pinpoint precision that got David Beckham to where he was. Did it in an England shirt, did it in a United shirt, and he was just absolutely insane on that right-hand side. There's many right mids that I could have put in that side, but David Beckham for me is definitely the one to go with on my right midfield. A little bit further forward this time, you're going to be thinking, why is this player in there? He wasn't that great in the Premier League. The only reason why this player is in there is because he's my favourite player. And now this is really controversial. Deco is in there. Now, like I said, the reason he's in there is because he's one of my favourite players. So I've got a little bit of my bias in. But I think Deco, for what he is, it was a great midfielder. I think his touch, his ability, his technique on the ball. We see that a lot now with the likes of Mesut Ozil, the Alexis Sanchez's in there, David Silva. That sort of technical player that's got a little bit about him, knows how to pass the ball, can run through a few players, and he really had it all. So Deco for me was in there. That's my controversial choice, but that is why he's in there. My favourite player, Deco. My centre defensive mid. We've gone with the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Scholes. What a player he was, an absolute baller, a wizard in the middle of the park. Some of the passes that he pinged left, right and centre, I could not even think about doing, yet he can do it with his eyes closed. It's just pure technique. You're something that you're born with, and obviously he trained every single day as well, not resting on his laurels, and produced game after game superb performances in the middle of the park. Some of the tackles he put in were brilliant, and goal-saving ones as well. So Paul Scholes is definitely my man in the middle, my centre defensive mid. We switch wings now and we go to the left-hand side. Now, again, this was so tough. Incredibly tough. In fact, this was probably one of my hardest ones. Ironically, the left back being the easiest, but the left mid being one of the hardest. Now, I sort of pushed Lampard just to the side a little bit. So he's a left mid, but it's left centre mid. That's what I've gone with. Frankie Lampard. He's going in there, being pushed out on that left-hand side because I've got an attacking midfielder. But Frank Lampard, top goal scorer for Chelsea. I mean, what more could you ask for? He was so instrumental in every season, scoring at least 20-odd goals a season from centre mid. It was incredible. And to watch Frank Lampard play in the era we've had so many great midfielders, Steven Gerrard, for example, pretty much similar players in terms of goal scoring ability. Frank Lampard, for me, top goal scoring Premier League midfielder. It says it all for me. Absolutely amazing, Frankie Lampard. His legacy will live on at Chelsea. He is in my team. Now we go to the attacking midfielder, and this is somebody that has had many a YouTube video created after him. That goal against Newcastle was one that we remember for many years and will continue to remember. That touch was incredible. That finish was delightful past Shay Given. Dennis Bergkamp is my attacking midfielder. What a superb player. He's a joy to watch. Every video that you see of Dennis Bergkamp, even if you saw him in real life, whether you saw him on YouTube, wherever you saw him, you always knew you were going to get a performance out of the Dutch international, and you did. Dennis Bergkamp, for me, is technically one of the best that's ever been in the Premier League. His goal-scoring ability was there as well, and he was so lucky. He had the likes of Pires, he had Lundberg, Gilberto Silva. We could have had Patrick Vieira in the team. People like that around him helped him a lot, but take nothing away from what Dennis Bergkamp did in the Premier League. It was absolutely insane and a joy to watch. Dennis Bergkamp is my attacking midfielder. Now we move on to the two strikers. Now this is a world of choice. The amount of great strikers there's been in the Premier League. Some at present moment. We think of the likes of Sergio Aguero. We think of Ibrahimovic, who's moved to Manchester United now. Ian Wright we could have had a few years back. There's Tony Yeboah. We could have had so many strikers. If I had a subs bench, they'd probably all be strikers. There's been too many to name. But the two that I've gone with, I think, would be just the best partnership up front. To be so formidable. On the right-hand side, doesn't matter which way, but the right striker is Thierry Henry. I mean, what a player he was. We mentioned Dennis Bergkamp as the attacking mid, but those two linked up so telepathically. It was just instinctive. Their play was brilliant, and Arsenal were the invincible side. Henry, you could not touch him. You physically couldn't do anything about what he brought to the table. And as a defender, he would scare the living daylights out of you. Thierry Henry, plenty of goals scored at international level as well as domestic. What a player he was. Thierry Henry is my right striker. And we go to left striker. Now, again, another tough choice. But I have gone with Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer, the all-time Premier League top-scoring striker. His goal against Everton, that volley, we all remember it. The edge of the box, into the top corner. The hand of Alan Shearer, it was raised, and raised many a time for Newcastle. And Blackburn, not forgetting as well, when he won the title down at Blackburn. But his legacy at Newcastle, he's even got a statue outside the ground of him. That shows how much they appreciated what he did for that club. And what he did for Newcastle was he put that team fully on the map. And Alan Shearer, for me, was one of the best ever strikers in the Premier League and is fully deserved of everything he has been given, and then some. Even my team. He goes into the side. That is my best 11. This is my best 11. That's what I think. A controversial name in there, of course, Deco. But my favourite player, you've got to go with it. What's your best 11, your all-time Premier League 11? We've got more videos to come from the Let's Talk Sport members. They'll be coming out soon. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below and give us your best 11. It's a tough choice. It's not an easy job. A little bit of research won't go amiss. But get them in down at the comment sections below. Go to all our social media links. The links will be in the description. And make sure you subscribe to the Let's Talk Sport YouTube channel for more videos like this.